All right, class. Good morning. We're gonna pick up with, page 116, doing market research. You guys have started working on the, vocabulary that was on page 130, and the key concepts with 2, 3, 4, and 5. So, as we've been looking at going through defining markets, now we're going to talk about the importance of market research. So one of the first terms that you looked up was an industry. Who can tell me what an industry is? What is it?
Collection of businesses with common line of products or services.
Okay, you read real well. Now, tell me in a particular industry. What do you have on your head?
A hat.
Okay, so there must be a
Industry.
of what?
Hats.
Right, exactly. So any product that's made, there's an industry to support it. You have some industries that are used in the United States to measure how good the economy is doing, like the auto industry. If people are buying new cars, then the economy must be doing what? If people can afford to buy cars, then people must be making what?
Money.
Which means that things are what? Good, right? Houses. If people are buying houses, then that means they're making money, so the economy must be what?
Good.
Good, right?
Mhm.
If those major things, like some of the things that we use to measure, autos, houses, large appliances, what are some of the other things that you would see that would make you think that the economy was doing good?
The type of clothes people got on.
Yeah. Apparel. And I will add one more. And I'll give y'all a hint. The softball team did it last night.
One.
8.
We went out to eat, right? So, dining. So if people are going out and spending, $50, $60 between two people to eat, as opposed to sitting at home eating sandwiches, then folks feel like, they've got what's called,
Money.
right, or
Clothes.
put another way, disposable income. That I got some cash that I don't really mind throwing away on a decent meal because I got a raise. Or, my spouse got a better job or something along those lines. So you feel like you got some money that you can move. So, much like you just said, a collection of businesses with a common line of products or services. So, when we think about industries, we think about the market as a whole, right? So let's talk about something we all know, shoes. So if this is 100% of the shoe market, all of this, who are the major players in the sneaker industry?
Nike.
Nike.
New Balance.
New Balance, Reebok,
Adidas. Oh, what's Adidas?
Adidas,
Skechers.
Skechers, okay,
Crocs.
Crocs, yeah.
Crocs,
Jordan.
um,
Cowboys.
So let's go with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right. So if, and I'm just pulling numbers out of there. If shoes are a $130 billion market, which means this circle is worth $130 billion, split between these 7 companies, and let's say Nike has the largest share, then there's Reebok and New Balance, Adidas, and then we'll split up the other 3. And Crocs. Okay, so if Nike is the biggest, then these are all the people that are buying shoes. So New Balance is trying to take business from Nike. Uggs is trying to take business from Crocs. Everybody's trying to move people around. So I wear New Balance. I will probably never wear Adidas. I'll probably never wear Reebok. I may wear Nikes if I find some Air Maxes that I like. I will never wear these. These are old people shoes to me. I'm not gonna put them on.
Skechers.
In my opinion, Crocs and Uggs are for women. I bought my first pair of slides a month ago to wear from the locker room in the gym to the pool. I will never be seen in public in a pair of slides. But then so I'm talking to this dude in the locker room, right? And I'm ready to go in the pool, and I got on my slides, and he leaves his Beats headphones on the bench in there. And I'm like, I gotta get dude his headphones. I got on my slides. I don't have time to put my sneakers on, because he leaving. And I go running out there, I'm tripping, falling over stuff, shoes coming off. And I'm like, this is the worst thing ever. But that's me. But then I'm a different demographic. So I'm in my 50s, you know, I'm a grandpa. That whole Crocs thing doesn't appeal to me. But I respect the fact that they have made a multi-billion-dollar industry out of rubber shoes. You know, if anything, I'm envious that I ain't think about it. But, you know, it is what it is. So every product fits into an industry somewhere. You know, Janai and I wearing glasses. There's one company that makes probably 85% of all the eyeglasses and eyewear in the world, called Luxor. They own Ray-Ban. They own tons of brands, and they do, you know, the basic ones that you get at American, whatever that thing is, all the way up to the Prada and all of the other high dollar brands. And they recognize, and if you were to use this for glasses, they would probably have everything but this one, because they control so much of the market. So, any questions? All right, cool. So, when we talk about industries, we talk about carrying capacity, uncertainty, and complexity. So, here's the interesting thing about carrying capacity. So, Sam, read me what carrying capacity is.
A way to understand the industry's ability to support the new growth.
Right. So, let's say, going back to our 100% example, that and let's be a little more defined. So let's say that Crocs has 80% of the rubber shoe industry. That's just what I'm gonna call it. So that would be like, this would be Crocs, and this would be everybody else, whoever that is. I guess, yeah, everybody makes slides. Adidas makes slides, Nike makes slides, whatever. But for the rubber shoe business, they got this on lock, right? Now, carrying capacity, the way to understand the ability to support new growth. So, let's say that Crocs came out with a better looking shoe that was designed to appeal to a different demographic. Let's say they decided to come out with a type of work boot that took into account all the comfort and everything, but it's a different design. So now their market, instead of fighting for the people in this one, they make a bigger market. So let's say that this first circle is worth $70 billion. Now they have come up with a new mix that makes this market 110 billion. So instead of fighting for the people that are in here, they made this bigger, expanded the market. So now the capacity has grown, and you have a whole new target that you're going after. Now, these people are also going to be competing for that too. So there's a saying that a rising tide lifts all boats. So their desire to enter into a new market forces the others to do the same. You ever watch television and, like, what's a real interesting, unique show that's out now that's like different from everything else? Stranger Things, right? Stranger Things came out, people lost their minds. You know? So then the other networks and show producers come up with something that's similar, trying to cash in on that popularity. It's the same way in industries, that somebody came up with an idea of Crocs. Now, Crocs originally started, the only people that were wearing them were like nurses and chefs, people that worked in the kitchen. And I remember when I saw them, it was 20 years ago. And they were just these Flintstone looking ugly shoes. And then somewhere between there and like 18 years ago, it just blew up. And I don't know what caused it, but when young people pick up on a trend, y'all have a tendency to migrate toward it and embrace it, and then you want to look like everybody else, which every generation does that, and then, you know, it blows up. So when I was in high school, it was designer jeans, you know, which y'all probably have never heard of it.
FUBU.
Well,
Rockwear.
no. Yeah, that was the 90s. I'm talking about the 80s. So
Oh.
you had
American
Calvin
Eagle.
Klein.
American Eagle?
No.
Levi's?
Levi's a little
I
bit.
said, dang. What
But
is
you
it?
had no, back further than that.
Oh, man.
It was
Future underrated boss.
it was Calvin Klein jeans.
Tommy Hilfiger?
Sir, yeah, Tommy Hilfiger came later, but it was Calvin Klein, Jordache, Sergio Valente, and Sassoon. Oh, and the girls were wearing Gloria Vanderbilt. And, you know, it was a whole thing. It was all about what the pocket said. It's all about what was on your label. And, yeah, it was wild. And back then, I'm telling my age now, back then, a pair of designer jeans would cost you like between 30 and 40 bucks, which was a lot for jeans in the 80s. But, you know, you had to have them because everybody else had them. So, you know, I guess kind of like hoodies are with y'all now, but anyway. So, uncertainty, let's talk about that. The degree of stability or instability in an industry. An industry that is fast changing has a high degree of uncertainty as opposed to an industry that has a low degree of uncertainty. Think about a restaurant. So people gotta eat, right? Restaurants been around since there's been people. So if you go into the restaurant industry, you might not make a lot of money, but you know, if you manage your costs, you don't have to worry about closing. As opposed to an industry like building electric cars. So right now, Tesla seems to have that thing on lock, but if you a startup trying to build an electric car, the likelihood of you being successful and it being something that is certain is not there. So how easy is it to start a landscaping business? What are the things that you need to start a landscaping business? Okay, you need a mower. What else?
Weed whacker. Money.
A trimmer.
Client video.
You need a rake.
You need clients.
And you need customers.
A trailer. You need a trailer.
Weed
Okay, a trailer.
To put on your snow cone.
Weed
All right, we got that. We got a trimmer. So, all right. So if you start out with just these things, that's not a lot of money,
Do you have
right?
money to buy it?
That's a chihuahua.
Hmm?
A chihuahua.
It can be.
If you have money.
It can be. But I can go in my yard right now and get all of it.
Yeah, I can too.
Right. So you can basically start your business for nothing.
Yeah.
Right. No real capital input.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Now, how much money would you need to mine rare gems on asteroids?
Rare gems on asteroids.
Mm-hmm. What do you need to
Like
get?
$707,076.
Okay. So if I want to go into space and land machines on asteroids so that I can dig on them to get the minerals I can bring back to Earth, what would I need?
And a spaceship.
I would need a spaceship. I would need a rocket.
You need
A jackhammer.
some type of device to get it out.
Mm-hmm. Right. Earth moving equipment. I would need manpower. I would need training.
Months.
I would
Gear.
need, what else?
Gear.
Rocket ship
You
gear.
said clue. I said
You're
gear.
right, I would need, space gear.
So you don't go in.
Okay. So, one is costing me this. And this one is costing me this,
Yes.
right? Now, which one has the most safety?
Landscape.
Right. Which one has the most risk?
Fire jams on asteroids.
Right. Which one am I gonna make the most money doing?
Red jams on asteroids.
Exactly. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. So, the reason that people take these risks, the reason that somebody would start an Amazon, or somebody would start building rockets
Or
and
creating
electric cars and all the things that go along with that, is that the potential on return is limitless. Like Sam said, that he can go home, just like I can, with all this stuff and go to work, right? But Sam and I can't go home and get this out of the yard and start mining asteroids in space. So the term that defines the difference between these two is called barrier to entry. Now, what does that mean, Mr. Hayes? How easy is it to get up and running? Now, I know I could probably go on my phone right now and pull up at least a dozen numbers of people that do landscaping. Some of them do it full-time, some of them do it part-time, but if I needed my grass cut, which I do it myself, but if I need my grass cut, I can go find somebody to do that, very easy. I don't have anybody on my phone that does this. So people can get started real easy, which means there are a lot of people doing it, and because there are a lot of people doing it, it's not a lot of money to be made. Because I can come and say, I'll cut your grass for $100. Sam will say, well, I'll cut it for 90. And then I'll say, well, I'll cut it for 80. He'll say, I'll cut it for 70. So the price gets driven down because there's so many people doing it. But if I'm the only game in town, I can charge what I want. So, okay, thank you. We'll pick back up on this tomorrow.
Okay, then I'm
Good day, Mr. Hayes.
You too.
awesome.